All right? So guys, I'm here looking at you. I'm sorry, but I've got no makeup on and I'm still in my pajamas, and there's a reason behind this. I want to help you guys to simplify your makeup, and the reason I want to help you simplify your makeup is because I need to simplify mine. Every time I put my face on, I leave a natural disaster, a catastrophe, a mess behind myself. And so I'm realizing this space is just not working for me. It's not good. It's not functioning, even though I've actually spent time organising it in the past. So today I want to help you to simplify your morning routine by simplifying your makeup. And friends, if this is the first time we're meeting, welcome aboard. This is the Agile Life, where we try and help people with ideas to simplify your life, make things easier, even if you've got a health condition or a disability. And a lot of the ideas are inspired by the thinking in the Agile world, which is a technology and manufacturing set of principles. So one of the aspects of that world is that we focus quite heavily on simplicity. And that's what we're going to look at today. So to illustrate the point and make this a lot easier to watch, I'm going to go and put my face on. I'm going to show you the mess and detritus that I leave behind myself every time I do my makeup. So this is all about just making it easier to put away, but also just making it easier to do it in the morning. Turn on dressing table. And our question for the day is, what is the worst part of your morning routine that you wish we could simplify? Because you know what? We can do that. That's a possibility. So let me know in the comments. It would be really cool if you did that. As I said, massive difference for the channel. So thank you so much, anyone that already has. You are amazing. I have previously organised this stuff. I've got labels, I've got containers, but there's still way too much stuff. And by just placing like items together, I have a lot of choices still to make. Like, which of these 5 moisturisers will I use today? Or these lipsticks? And did you know there's such a thing as decision fatigue? It's the feeling you get when you've made so many decisions during the day that by the time you get home, something simple like choosing what you want for dinner is just too hard. Now, the countermeasure for this feeling is to eliminate as many decisions as you can throughout the day so that you've got energy for the important ones. So we're going to reduce our options so there are fewer decisions to make. So here's the thing, I've got too much stuff. Genuinely, there are things in here that were experiments, things that I think I'm going to use one day, things that, do you know what, have run out, I've had them too long, all of that kind of stuff. So I definitely need to delete quite a lot of this stuff. I also need to think about the stuff that I don't use very often, that I only use for certain types of events or whatever, and they need to go into an alternate way of storing them or an alternate location. And then what I really want to end up with is just enough stuff that I can do my everyday look and maybe have a couple of extra bits in case someone rings me up and says, look, we're going out tonight, so I can just go extra. But I don't need to keep face paint and all the other kind of stuff that I might use for certain scenarios, but actually I'm not sure that I use them very often in my primary location. So I'm going to go through everything, and first off I'm going to start deleting the items that need to be dumped, donated, recycled. And I think while I do that, I think I'll go through, and if, for example, this was in the wrong box, I'll put it into the right box, because we've already categorized quite a lot of this stuff. It's just that it's not all made it back to its home. I'm definitely feeling a bit overwhelmed. You know what I haven't done? I haven't got an alternate box. What am I doing? Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't met my definition of ready. We'll go through what that means. And now I'm not really getting anywhere. It's not really working. So I'm gonna stop for a second, go get myself fully ready for this filming and this decluttering exercise. And that should hopefully help me to be more successful, because right now I'm just feeling like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so now I've met my definition of ready. I've actually got a box for the things I want to control, a box for the things I want to move to an alternate location or store differently. I think I'm better suited now to get things organised and sorted. So I'm gonna start again and see if this works this time.
Hello, future me here, going to save you listening to a very long-winded explanation. So essentially, I found a box marked feet. It had all feet stuff in it. I was originally thinking, okay, that's good to go. I'm going to put that in the control box. Here's the thing. Everything in it was really old and I don't use it. So second thoughts, most of it can be got rid of. And I'm literally sitting there probably moving house with this stuff because it was gifts and it was feet stuff and it was in the right box. But if I can give you any tip today, it's to really reconsider the stuff that you own. What do you actually use, or what do you think you might be using going forward? And if you don't think you're going to be using it, just get it out of your life. You can have the space or the stuff, and I chose to have the space. The other thing I noticed was that I'd put the delete bag in shot for you guys to see, but it meant that I was transporting stuff back and forth to that bag, and that was making it slightly less likely for me to want to throw things away. So I moved it out of shot for you guys, but in a much more comfortable location for me. And that really speaks to the lean principles of reducing waste in your process. One of the wastes is transportation and another one is motion, and I think both of those were being fragrantly abused in this setup. So I moved my bag underneath the camera, made it easier for me to get stuff out of my life. And everything that's in that bag will be sorted later for recycling or whatever, so that we can make sure that there's limited chucking out as much as possible.
Okay, I got a question for you. How many brushes does one head need? Probably not this many. Just so that the world doesn't get too difficult, I'm actually going to use this red box for makeup items that I don't need every day. Oh, and duplicates. They should go into like my home shop. So I got a whole bunch of browns, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the smallest brown and I'm going to keep that one so that I can get rid of it and then pick from my home shop. Small makeup goes into the travel section.
So every time I get a new piece of technology, and I have to say that that's my guilty pleasure, I keep the boxes if they are nice, hard boxes. So iPhone boxes are a good example. If you pull out all of the plastic pieces, they make great drawer dividers. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm subdividing all of the stuff that's going into my home store so that if I want a new lipstick, I pull out the little lipstick box and I can pull out a lipstick from there rather than having it all mushed up together. Not necessary, but definitely a good hack to store boxes that can be reused for your organisation.
Alright, so we're starting to get there. This box is currently the best option I've got for my home shop, you know, the place I'm going to go to before I go and buy anything new. So we're slowly but surely, I don't know if you can see, you get a lot of squinting from me. Ugh! That was really bad. Okay, so what you can see in here, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen, is all of my makeup is sectioned into small little caddies. These are all previously owned technology caddies, and I can now go, all right, I've run out of lipsticks. Let me go into the lipstick section. These are all your bigger bottles. I'm going to carry on going through. It might be that this has to come out and we use this whole box. But the whole point here is shop from home, try to use up stuff, and then we'll actually have fewer items and more of the stuff that you actually use in the house. Okay, so I have just picked up all the stuff I just dropped all over the floor that I'd already categorized, and that's telling me that it's a really good idea for me to actually go and clean the cupboard properly, get some Pledge and clean all of the canisters and the actual containers so that I can start putting stuff back in, purely because there just isn't enough room. There's stuff, there's so much stuff. That tells me that even though this is a declutter video, that actually probably once I have gone through and used up as much of the dregs as possible, I will have a lot less stuff. But also, I think I've probably got more stuff to throw away, but I'm only at the beginning of the journey, so maybe the next time round we'll go through this and we'll see how much more stuff I can get rid of. And then once we get to a point where we've got a much smaller amount of stuff, then I might finally be able to keep my dressing table clear. We'll see, we'll see. I don't even know which way it is anymore. It's hard to see from here. Okay, so I think it's that one there. You don't need to see me clean it out because that's really kind of boring. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to carry on going through the alt pile, working out what's going into my store, and what else went in there was travel sized items, because I like to have a little travel shop. So there was also some of the more fancy dress kind of stuff, which I might relocate to the cupboard that I keep all of my fancy dress stuff in it. Alrighty then, so I'm kind of done. I've still got a couple of bits in the dishwasher, but actually what I decided was it's these things that end up always, you know, on the table in the front of me, because I want to kind of just open them and use them. So if I just keep them on the table, maybe even with the lids off, I can just dip my brush in and make, you know, deal with what I've got to deal with. So I figured that that made more sense to me. I have like a whole box over here that's just for a couple of little perfumes. The reason I've put them in a box and not just left them on the side is because it just means I can pull it out and clean more easily. This box over here is all of my makeup shop. So if I want to go and get some stuff, you know, if I run out of something, then I can come in here. That is my big bottle shop. So all the extras of things that I use every day or things that I need to use up can go in there. We've got our hairbands. I don't think you can see that from the light, but you can trust me. And the clips. We've got brushes. We've got all of the hair products. We've got some moisturising products, sun cream and hair removal type stuff. And I'm going to go through and sort out some labels, because I have a label maker, which I'm quite happy about. You can see though, this is the area that I'm going to use more often. So I've got a couple of different options in lipsticks, got my mascaras and my pencils. The container that that's in was actually printed out, so you can have a look at Thingiverse if you've got a 3D printer. Most people don't have a 3D printer, right? But I just thought I'd let you know. The noises on the camera are because I have no idea how to use it, so hopefully you'll forgive me on that. All of my brushes and the actual foundation that I use. But literally everything in there is something that I use most days. So that's kind of handy to have. And then behind you can see the slightly bigger bottles and the creams and deodorant and all of that kind of stuff that I use. All set up, ready to go, all easy to grab. So this area is easy for me to grab. Down here is easy for me to grab. And up here is easy for me to grab. Back there is too far away for me. So I actually struggle to reach that far. You can see, there we go, that's my hand. So I'm not going to grab those things just off the cuff. Now the whole point of this exercise was to try and stop me from filling this space with stuff. So I'm hoping that this tray might help me with that. And actually to reduce the number of decisions I can make when I'm doing my makeup. So actually by having fewer things, my gosh, I'd love to be like the messy minimalist who has like 5 items, but I kind of like to mix it up a little bit. So having these things might be more than some people will have, might be less than other people will have. But actually for me, I think that's quite a small amount of makeup, and I've got less decisions or fewer decisions I can make. So I'm going to hope that this is a success. I'll probably end up moving these around and finding exactly the right place for every item. But for me, this is hopefully going to work better, make my life more simple. In summary, make sure you're ready before you tackle a space in your home. Most importantly, make sure you have boxes ready for Control, Alt and Delete. Micro sort the stuff that you want to keep control of in your home. And then for the Alt space, it's just stuff that you want to move to a new location, like your home shop, somewhere a little bit out of the way so that you're not tempted to reach into it and you can get rid of the stuff that you've got in your primary location. And get rid of as much stuff as you can that's not serving you. The less stuff that you have to manage, the easier life becomes. And trust me, I did this video ages ago, and I have to say that since I've done it, it's been so much easier just to keep everything under control. Micro sort your categories, make sure you use containers to keep everything separate, and then label them so you know where to put stuff back. And if possible, keep those as open containers if it's an enclosed space, so that you can literally throw things into a location. You don't have to spend time fiddling with a lid or whatever else. And you're not done till you're all the way done. So before you tackle another space, make sure all of your delete items have actually left the house. If you got any value out of this video, wallop that like button. If you want to see more tips and tricks and how to get things done, hit that subscribe button, and comments massively support the channel. And I love hearing from you. It's just awesome. It's been great speaking to you, and I cannot wait to do this again. My name's Karen. This has been The Agile Life. Catch you later.